Welcome to Rita's Kitchen. Today we'll be doing roasted red pepper, seared chicken Alfredo. But first thing first in Rita's Kitchen, what must you do? Wash your hands. Okay, first thing first in Rita's Kitchen, what do? We wash our hands. So for those who don't know how, I'm going to give you a quick briefing on how to do it properly. So what you want to do is lather your hands, go in between your fingers, up your arms a bit, back down your hands, up underneath nail beds. And what you're trying to do is capture all the germs and bacteria before working with anybody's food. If that's too much, just sing the happy birthday song. You should be doing that for at least 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, now that I'm back, my hands are clean. And what we're going to do is get started on our dish of the day. Again, we're making roasted red pepper, seared chicken Alfredo. So we're going to need a few key components for this dish to be great. One of those components is the chicken. We're going to sear it off really good in a pan. Then, what else do we need? I told you guys it's red roasted Alfredo. So, what makes it a roasted Alfredo sauce is the actual red roasted peppers. And you also see a green pepper cut up in there, because if you know anything about me and my channel thus far, I love my veg. Then we're going to add a little sweet onion to it and a little baby bella mushrooms. Now, that's for the mix of the sauce, but to actually build the loose sauce, I'm going to go over those components for that part of the meal. Now, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of butter, melt it down, bring it to a nice little melt. Then we're going to do about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And what that garlic is going to do is wake up those flavors. Then we're going to jump over here and pour in our heavy whipping cream. Our heavy whipping cream is going to actually bring that creaminess, and that's the Alfredo base. That's the foundation. Then we're going to add some grated Parmesan cheese. Now, everybody don't use the grated Parm, but I like it because it helps it get thicker and it's a lot more flavorful. And we're also going to do a grated Parmesan, aged preferably. Your brand is totally up to you. Then to kick up my flavors, I like to bring in my own little seasoning, which is the chicken bouillon. Believe it or not, this right here is a world of magic. It don't take much, so just be careful and taste it to your liking as far as your palate. So be careful with that. Now, I usually use a fresh parsley, but I didn't have any on hand today, so I always keep me some dried herbs. So we're going to use some dried parsley in that today. And you guys see this milk, right? What is this, 2% or 1%? Whatever it is, it's a milk. We grew up drinking it. It's the red brand. But I think it's the 2% because the blue might be the 1%. Or I might have it wrong. We don't know. Who is that? Who am I? The milkman? But anyway, what we're going to do with that is we're going to actually stretch it for it to be a lot more Alfredo sauce. So we didn't use all heavy cream because heavy cream could be a bit expensive. So it's other ways to stretch your dollar, and this is one of them. So what we're going to do first is I've allowed my skillet to get hot to put my chicken in. So we're going to go ahead and transfer over to my cooking area. And let's get this chicken on and also sauteing these veggies so we can get started on this great roasted red pepper Alfredo sauce. Okay, now that I'm back, I've already put the boneless, skinless chicken breast in the pan and it's searing away. I already melted the 2 tablespoons of butter down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple tablespoons of that minced garlic. And if you don't use garlic, you don't like garlic, you don't have to use garlic. So we're going to set that to the side. We're going to mix that around a bit. And now that's all ready to go. We're going to start adding our veg in so they can start sauteing away. So, I've used tongs to actually pick them up out of the bowl, because if you guys don't roast your own red peppers, then you'll actually get them in a can or a jar, and it comes in as liquid. So I don't want that liquid going into my actual butter, so I'm going to lift it up out of there. And I actually use a Mount Olive brand, but they sell several brands of roasted red peppers. So if you guys could see that liquid there, and that's even after draining the liquids off out of the jar. So that's that. So just imagine how great those flavors are going to be going through that actual Alfredo sauce. It's going to be really, really, really good. I don't waste anything. I want all mine to the last drop. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to sit them there. Now we're going to mix that around. Like that. And back here I have my water on, boiling, because again, this is an Alfredo, so anybody who eat it, you know it's going over pasta. But a lot of people don't know you can also put Alfredo over rice. Today we're going to do pasta, fettuccine, that is. Barilla is the brand I've decided to use. It doesn't matter what brand. I'm not really brand savvy like that. Like, it's all up to you, whatever you want to use. So, okay. Now we're going to add our sweet onion. Mix that around a bit. Now we're going to add those baby bella mushrooms. So we're going to allow this to go ahead and saute down for about 10 minutes because I want it nice and wilted, so I can start adding my heavy cream, my cheese, my parsley, and things like that, so we can wake those flavors up. And especially that chicken bouillon cube is going to do what it do. Be back in a sec. Okay, so now I've allowed my veg to actually wilt down the way that I want to. Got some good flavors going in, and it's about to get serious up in here. So my chicken is done. It's seared to my liking. Then all we're going to do is julienne cut it across my pasta dish once it's done. I have my pasta going, which is the fettuccine. I allow this to go for about 10 to 12 minutes. You don't want to overdo your pasta. After it's done, after 10 to 12 minutes, what you want to do is get your strainer, pour it into there, and run cold water over it. What that cold water does, allows it to stop cooking, because if you don't, it'll still cook internally. And what I did not do, what we've all been trained to do, which is a good technique but not for this dish, is to add oil to our water. Only thing I added to this water is a little bit of white salt, and I didn't add oil because we're using butters and stuff to actually make the Alfredo sauce. So what you don't want to do is allow the oils from the pasta to break the Alfredo sauce, because it can fall like bad makeup. So you don't want that to happen. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up this heavy cream, add it all to it, and I'm going to allow that to get hot for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll add my cheeses, because I don't like to add anything cold because you don't want it to clump up on you. Be back in a sec. Okay, now I've allowed my heavy cream to get hot, so I'm going to start adding our components to this meal. So this is the grated Parmesan. So shake as much as you like because you know we love cheese. Human beings and natural. So now, as you guys see, that went down smoothly. Now, what I want to do is add some of this chicken bouillon cube. And I'm going to do about, I know what my taste buds require. That was about a spoonful and a half. A nice hefty one, that is. Okay. That went down nicely. Now, I'm going to add about maybe 2 to 4 ounces of this fresh Parmesan cheese and allow it to do what it do. So that's going to take a little longer than anything else. But you see how beautifully it went down? If you allow your ingredients to get hot, that heat allows it to melt right away. And it becomes silky smooth to the palate. So that's what it is. Now, what we're going to add is some of this dried parsley. And as much as you like, it's totally up to you. I did about maybe a half of a teaspoon. It don't take much. So now, the longer it sits, the thicker it's going to get, believe it or not, with those cheeses and different things. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the thickness and add some of that milk. Whole milk, that is. Got it. I'm going to add about 2 ounces of that. That should be a plenty. And if you have more of that sauce left over the next day after feeding your family and you get up and it's thick, you don't have no heavy cream, heat it up, add some milk, it'll come right back to life. If you think you need anything else to spark it back up, I've already told you what to use. Do what you do. And another thing, I like spicy food, so I know I'm going to add some spice to my plate. But you can also add spice to your actual sauce. So we're going to let that do what it do and allow one hell of a writer productions as well to come in and show you guys this beautiful sauce that has come about. Roasted red pepper seared chicken Alfredo. Voila.